Originally, when I thought of the story for Indoctrination, it was really just as an exercise that I was going to think about as I was driving on a long drive somewhere. The original story was that a woman woke up after an accident and she was being nursed back to health by people who turned out to be members of a cult. And she would have amnesia, which made her vulnerable to their teachings because she had nothing to go back to. She didn't know where she was from. She was effectively helpless. She was with them and she had nowhere else to go. So she became their friend and gradually fell into their teachings, became a member of their cult. To make this work as a story, I needed someone to drive the plot along. There had to be some reason why she would decide that she didn't want to stay with this cult and why she would try to escape from them. And what I hit on was that originally she would fall in love with another woman in the cult, and that same-sex attraction was against the teachings of the cult, and effectively her lesbian awakening would make her want to leave the cult. But as I thought about that, I suddenly realised I had essentially hit on a story about conversion therapy. And at that point, it suddenly felt like a much more important thing, because although conversion therapy isn't something I've been a victim of myself, it's an idea that has always horrified me since I've heard about it. And I thought, here's this, it's a slightly weird story, it's a weird angle in conversion therapy, but it was interesting, and I suddenly felt like I had something important to say there. In the final version of the story, I've changed things around a bit, so it's no longer an accidental form of conversion therapy as it was in that original concept. I've made it something that the cult deliberately set out to do. They deliberately abducted her and set about somehow giving her amnesia, but I'm not sure how that works. We could be hand-waving that part of the plot. But it's something they've deliberately done as a form of conversion therapy. And it's no longer she happens to fall in love with another member of the cult and that's what makes her realise who she is. Instead, she has memories coming back to her of her long-term girlfriend. And she wants to get back to her partner, and that's why she tries to leave the cult. So although the form of conversion therapy in the story is completely unlike how conversion therapy happens in the real world, and in a sense it's not as cruel because at least initially she didn't understand what was actually happening to her. It was only later in the story, as her memories start to come back, that she understands what's going on and experiences that sort of turmoil. But I still hope that it in some way communicates how I feel about conversion therapy, how horrible I think it is, and I hope I've done the subject justice. Because the form of conversion therapy is different though, it also means there's a part in the story where she is rediscovering who she is, and as she works out her own identity, she has to deal with coming out to herself again, and then effectively she's back in the closet because she feels she can't come out to the cult. She knows the cult are homophobic, so she can't come out to them and expect any sort of support. Ultimately, I did give the story a happy ending because I think so many characters in queer literature don't have happy endings. So often queer stories are told as a tragedy, and I felt this character had been through enough and I just wanted to do something nice for her at the end. So eventually she does escape from the cult, she does make it back to her partner, and they are finally reunited. Because it's a concept album, most of the songs are sung in character, they're telling the story. But the last few lines that make up the finale really are more a personal statement from me. That's the one time I'm really singing in my own voice. You can see it the character's voice if you like. But to me, those bits are really my own words, that's me wanting to really just drive home my message and make sure you understand what I'm going to say at the end of the